come into Epcot for beer, which we have acquired, and also to talk to you about Disney Cruise Lining.
Because Epcot's the perfect place for that.
Cheers to good beer.
It's a good beer.
Tonight we wanted to talk about Disney Cruise Lines, and we want to specifically talk about why we think that they're actually better than the parks.
I will hands down hot take this and say, by far, better than the parks.
For real. But like, do you remember how long after our first cruise, Lorelai started pinky promising us more Disney cruises?
Within the day. Within the
Really?
day.
I thought it was like February.
No, it was like within the day.
Really?
Yep. She wanted to go back
Dang, that
the
bad.
next day.
The whole point of the pinky promise is that we tell the kids, and I know this is unrelated, but hear me out. It's a love you always, no matter what happens, we love you. And
Even when they're grounded.
Like even when you're grounded,
'Cause
even when
kids
you
will be
bathe bed,
grounded.
even when you've had a great day and made all the good choices, like we love you always.
For Lucas, it's make better choices for more fun stuff together.
For me with Lucas, it's be true to you, because I don't want him to ever lose sight of who he is.
Yep.
And the things that he likes and that he enjoys, like for peer pressure or whatever, people pleasing, you name it, never connected. Is in my love for you is never connected to your behavior. I love you regardless.
Yep.
For Lorelai, it's eat all your food, follow directions, make better choices.
Ever
he says
since
the cruise
day we got back from the cruise.
for more Disney cruises. Well, we specifically wanted to talk about
Why the cruise?
why. We have different perspectives, so we want to make sure that we're sharing those different perspectives with you. I am a theme park nerd and have been since I was a kid. I love the parks. I still love cruises probably more than the parks. Duke is not someone who's hyper Disney fandom unless it's like D&D and other fandoms, but he's not theme park fandom. He's not a theme park nerd. So his perspective is very different from mine when it comes to why we like Disney cruises more than we like parks. So I wanted him to share that perspective because not everybody wants to be in these theme parks all the time. Some people don't even care about Disney.
Like, I grew up with Disney, like most people my age, right? You get all the Disney movies during the 80s and the 90s were a thing. Everybody watched them. It was a thing. It never was my thing. So it wasn't as big of a deal as it was for Steph. From my perspective, when you come to a park, maybe less Epcot, more the other parks, you are beaten over the head with Disney. You are beaten over the head with Mickey. You are beaten over the head with Minnie. It is nonstop, and it is loud and chaotic. The kids love it. Not like the kids don't love coming to the parks, but when we went on her first cruise, it shifted everybody's attitude.
I didn't need that shift. That was a 25-year-long dream since I was a kid that finally came true.
Right.
So I didn't need that.
Right.
But
But
I mean, you had some apprehensions about going on the cruise in the first place.
I did. I was worried about getting seasick, amongst other things. The Disney cruise, from moment one, was a very different experience. Pre-embarkation and day of embarkation are probably your craziest. After that, you're relaxed. We'll get into that. But during those 2 points, there's craziness. It is. I watched her go just that laser focus on getting this done, that done, making sure this is in order, getting the paperwork, making sure people have passports, getting the planning in place for where we're going to stay the night before, how we're going to get there, where we're going to park. So, I mean, there's a lot to that.
I mean, I argue there's way more that goes into the parks, but I'll share that as a counterpoint later.
Yeah. From the moment you get onto the ship, it's a palpable difference between that and the parks. So as crazy as it is, day one on the ship, it's
crazy.
It is crazy. It is probably an eighth of the craziness that you get, or a tenth of the craziness that you get for a day in the parks. It's so much more relaxing. Like, that is my number one thing. When people are like, I want to take a Disney vacation. You are not going to take a vacation. You are going to take a trip. And it'll be fun. And it'll be glorious. And you'll have a great time. And you'll get home and you'll go, man, I need a nap. A Disney cruise, you actually get a vacation.
Yeah.
There are plenty of situations where you get to be an adult. Plenty of situations where you get to be, or potentially could be, if you have them, could be kid-free. Where you don't have to hustle. You know, a lot of adults that come for Disney stuff, they come for very specific things. We'll get into a lot of those things, like characters and dining and things like that, the service. But it's so much more relaxed, so much easier every day.
In
the parks, she's, on her phone. What are the wait times? So let's go over there. No, wait, now the wait time's over there is lower, so let's sprint across the park. And oh my goodness, so we got to get reservations for this. She was in her phone almost the entire time. You don't feel that on a Disney cruise ship. You feel a much more relaxed. Your partner feels more relaxed. You're able to spend time together. The mornings are slower. The days are slower. It's just a more calming thing. And that's somebody, she knows the parks. She knows the stuff.
What he sees is one particular perspective. So I'm the theme park nerd who, before I was working on vlogs, was consuming vlogs. I was watching documentaries like crazy. I wanted to know these parks inside and out because it was the only way I could like vicariously get to the parks, right? I knew a lot of what I was doing before I got here, but that's because I sought the information. And as someone who used to help people plan vacations, like there's a lot of people who don't realize just how important it is to plan for a parks vacation. All the planning that you really should do. Like, unless you're coming here routinely, like, I mean, once a year, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna wanna hit everything possible. Even the people I know that come here once a year wanna hit everything possible, when realistically, you should aim for 3 to 5 things. How do you plan for only 3 to 5 things? And what dining are you having? And I don't need to plan for dining. Yeah, you do. You're competing with a reservation or an online order for 30 to even 50,000 people in the park with you that day.
Yep.
Of course, if it's just you and it's a solo vacation, good
you.
for you.
You're gonna have a lot better
it's going to be a
chances.
lot easier. But I mean, if you're with another person or like a lot of people that are here, you're coming in as a family. You're talking about needing a reservation for basically the same party size or a very similar party size to everyone else around you. It's really difficult to get those reservations, and if you don't plan ahead, make the reservations, strategize what you want to do, you're going to be increasing your walking time, which increases your mileage, which makes you more tired, makes it more difficult to do more because you're just exhausted. Your temperament goes down because you're exhausted and in pain. And if you're hungry trying to find something to eat because you didn't make the proper plans, you're now also grumpy and tired and hot and oh my God, I just need food and my kids are screaming, and it is a thing. All I'm trying to say is there's a lot of planning that goes into a Walt Disney World or even Disneyland Parks vacation versus DCL.
Yeah.
Once you've done the planning for your Disney cruise, once you've gotten into your room and you've had lunch and you've done the muster drill, it's sail away party and dinner, and it's all easy. But because it's like input overload that day, it's still like it's like 9:30 and you're going, oh gosh, I feel like I was at the park today.
Last minute orders, last minute things.
And it's still not as intense as coming into the park, but it is still a heavy day. But he's right, that's it. Whereas if you're in the parks,
that's every day.
Every day, you're getting up early, you're trying to get to the park early to make the most of the park hours because you spent a lot for this vacation.
Again, if you're a parent, your head is on a swivel.
Yeah, with the kids.
There are 30,000 people walking by your kid. Your
or
kid
more,
wants to
that's a
run.
light day.
Your kid wants to run. You're tired. You're hot. You don't want to run. Your kid's like, this is great. I'm in the most magical place on earth. I want to climb on everything. You're like,
For
no.
real.
Your kid's like, can I touch this and then put my fist in my mouth? No. Can I?
Ew.
Right? Your
Ew.
head's on a swivel. Even on day one, the relaxation is there because your head's not on a swivel. You're in a much more.
I mean, it is and it isn't.
There are a lot less people around. They're somewhat spread out, except for like sailing away party. But like other than that, people are doing their own things with their kids. They're all over the ship, right? And it's just a much smaller population, and it makes it a lot easier to keep track of your kids. So much more relaxation.
Well, and the thing is that, you know, like I said, once you're done with embarkation day is still not as busy. And from the planner perspective, you put the effort in beforehand and on embarkation day at the most, and then after that, you're done. All you have to keep track of is monitor how many alcoholic beverages or specialty beverages you're buying if you're not consuming alcohol.
Yep.
They still charge for certain kinds of specialty coffees and mocktails. So like, you may have that to track, and then any souvenirs you want, but otherwise, like, your planning has all been done ahead of time versus each and every day.
And any off-ship activities you want to do. So
That's
if you
true.
want to
There's
do
sport adventures and excursions, et cetera. Et cetera, yeah.
But even that's still relaxed in comparison.
What else do you have for reasons? Why else?
Even if you don't have kids, there are areas of the ship that you don't have to deal with kids.
Right.
And that adds to your relaxation if you don't. You want to come to a park, you're getting run over by children, period. End of story. I can stand here and I can count the kids, right? On a ship, you can be in areas that there are no kids allowed, and you can just enjoy the peace.
And it's quiet.
It's quiet. It's like there's nobody there. It's great. There's a bar. It's like beautiful.
But what about the music?
If you want to go clubbing and you want to do music, the music of the ship itself.
Well, I mean, there's nightclubs, there's bars, there's all the
yeah.
things for parents, you know.
Or for adults that don't have kids.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, excuse me, for adults.
Yeah, for adults. But I mean, the day-to-day walking around the ship, it's not beat you over the head Disney. It's like instrumental versions of Disney, so it's softer and quieter, and you actually have to stop and go, that's familiar. Oh, that's XYZ song.
I mean, I don't have to think that long and hard about it, but not all of us are, you know.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just background noise, and it's not Disney background. It's like, it's much nicer. It's quieter. It's simpler.
I agree.
Like, that makes a huge difference to somebody who's not a Disney nerd. To touch on just the things that make DCL better, you know, we talk about the chaos. Good luck trying to, on property, have your kids meet each princess. Good luck. Probably not going to happen unless you are really focused. And
That's a mic drop moment in and of itself.
yeah, it's a thing. Like you are not going to, good luck. You're not going to get it.
For sure.
But on the cruise ship, not only do we get every princess easily, like there are times that there are just 5 of them in the atrium and they're lined up and the kids just come in to meet them. And they're in like 3 or 4 different outfits over the course of the sailing. So you're going to meet Belle in traditional outfit, Belle in like her ball outfit, Belle in like a fancier outfit. You might see Belle in a Christmas outfit if you're near Christmas time, or Halloween outfit if you're near Halloween time. Like they have every outfit, whether it's princesses or characters. You want to see Mickey, you want to see Minnie, no problem. You want to see Goofy, no problem. You can find Chip and Dale. You can meet characters you're going to have a harder time meeting on property.
The kids get to meet more characters than the adults do.
Yeah.
We were passing by, like on our
and cooler ones.
trip,
Sorry. And
like C-3PO. We were walking
seriously.
by, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, the kids in the kids club are hanging out with C-3PO."
Yeah.
When do you see C-3PO?
And
Even
Dr.
in
Strange.
the parks. Seriously.
They got C-3PO and Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange you can see in Disneyland.
But that requires you to go to a specific park.
Right, exactly. And you don't see him here as much on the ships. Like you have some really cool characters.
Kids see him all the time.
Right.
Yeah. You'll be sitting there and Stitch will poke his head through a portal behind you.
Yeah.
And the kids will go lose their minds, and you're going to turn around and Stitch will be ducking.
For real.
Because he's playing with them, right? Like it's
okay, well,
pretty
like,
cool.
But really, they do go crazy over Stitch. Take a look at this. Stitch, apparently. Everyone just went crazy for Stitch. Oh, he's way up there.
I love Stitch.
All I can see is a paw.
I love you, Stitch.
Even the older kids, because seeing
Oh my gosh, and
seeing
Aaron
Aaron's
went crazy
reaction.
over Stitch too. Here, I'll show you that one as well.
Yeah.
You're my favorite character.
The characters themselves, who you see, how often you see them, how easy it is to see them, how easy it is to spend time with them and get that time. Kids are going to love that far better on a ship than any other way. Like anywhere on ship, crowd levels are going to be low. And then when you're off ship, you're still only dealing with a limited population of people. And it's much limited than what you deal with on property.
When you come on property, like I mentioned earlier, you're looking at walking around and competing in wait times for attractions, food, experiences, seeing those characters. You're competing with 30 to 50,000 people. The average attendance for Magic Kingdom on any given day is 45 to 48,000, and it spikes higher than that during peak season. So millions of people every year visit Walt Disney World. You sit there and you think to yourself, millions, we're talking about 365 days, but I think it's really important that when you think about the fact that every day in one park, we're talking about 30, 40, or even close to 50,000 people in this one park. These parks, don't get me wrong, they're big. On an average day that you're in a park, and maybe you're here 8 hours, 9 hours, you're getting 3 to 5 miles of walking it, which is why one of my biggest recommendations to people is to build in a rest day in between so that you can have some downtime, maybe go to the pool, relax. If you really want to get out, maybe go to Disney Springs a little bit or something, but you find a way to get yourself some recovery time, and you don't have to build that in on the ships. You're not competing with anybody for dining because everyone's assigned to dining. There's so many dining options, it's ridiculous. So there's so many, you don't have to compete with people for experiences.
You're automatically guaranteed a really nice sit-down meal every day.
Yeah.
You do that on property? First of all, you have to compete with people to get the reservation. You're lucky if you can get the reservation at the time you hope to get it at. And then, sure, you'll get that meal, but it's going to be, $50-$60 a person. And
the average character meal is $60 a person. The average sit-down meal is between $35 and $60 a person.
There's just so much more food that's already sunk in the cost. You're not worrying about...
Please take the stairs. Walk as much as you can, as long as you are able, because there is so much food that is included in your sailing.
I know food on the ship is 0 calorie, but I still recommend the stairs because... Just saying. There's a ton of food and ice creams. And
oh my gosh, there's free soft serve ice cream you can grab every time, and the flavors shift out every day.
Right.
And then you have the desserts that are included with the meal, and they are like
really good
we've been places where we're like, well, that meal wasn't like as good as we hoped it would be. It wasn't terrible, but it was very but like the dessert was still banging.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah. No, definitely a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Big time.
We invite you to join us for Luminous.
We invite you to join us.
Yes, please, if any of this information is helpful at all, please consider subscribing below. Thanks so much for your time. Also, just remember, it doesn't cost you anything.
But it really helps the algorithm.
But it really helps me.
Really,
so please be considerate.
I know you hear this constantly on every video. It really helps the algorithm.
It really does. It helps.
Yeah.
What else you got?
There's other things. There's things like unique merch.
No, there's no unique merch on the
Right.
ship. No,
Mhm.
not at all.
She's wearing unique
there's,
merch
There's
from the
no
ship.
unique merch at all on the ships.
Right. So if you're a person that likes merch, and if you go to Disney, you probably like merch, just because a lot of people do. It's a memory, right?
For sure.
You are not going to find that kind of merch that's DCL related
You're not.
anywhere else.
I was standing in
Anyway.
line for Gideon's at Disney Springs, and this lady was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your bag." Now these are a splurge. I'm not saying that these bags aren't a splurge. These are my splurge, my investment. Like, I'm so grateful to have these. I treat them like a baby, and I'm careful with them, kind of splurge, right? But yeah, she was saying, "Oh, I really love your bag," and she was like, "Where? I don't think I've ever seen that one." And I said, "Oh," I said, "Have you ever taken a Disney cruise?" Because I wanted to tell her they usually have them downstairs, and she's like, "No, it's something we really want to do. I've been trying to talk my husband into it." And I was like, "Unless you get on a ship or someone on a ship gets one for you." So
You
there
don't-
are some special things like
You don't
that.
want to splurge that big? There are pins that are special to ship
For
on.
sure, yeah.
I have a Mickey and Minnie Captain on my pin hat. That you only get the Captain
Yeah.
Mickey, Captain Minnie on the cruise ships.
Yeah, well, and they'll even
And
have
that's
some
a
that are
lot less expensive of a splurge.
True.
And it's pins, and everybody loves pins.
Well, and they also have some that are specific to the ships
Yeah,
themselves.
yep.
Oh my gosh! But yeah, he's not lying. Like, if you want to check out merch from our recent cruise that we did, that was a concierge sailing, take a look at this playlist. But also on our day at sea, I did like a whole wander through the merch stores, and I gave a whole highlight of what was in there. So definitely take a look at that particular video if you're curious on what kind of merch is on board the ships.
And then other things that are more unique are things like adult experiences.
For sure.
You come to a park, you're going to have to go back to a hotel at some point. The parks are open in some cases as late as like 11 o'clock at night, midnight some nights, right? But you have to go back to a hotel room, and that's kind of the end of your night. You're in a hotel room that's pretty much isolated from everything else.
Right.
Whereas DCL has like full-on nightlife.
A mid pause. Thanks for having fun with me.
Having fun
For real,
together.
thank you so much. Happy mini date night.
You want to have time just the adults?
Yeah.
You're going to have to get a babysitter. You're going to have to get, and again, if you have kids. If you don't have kids, again, a lot easier. Leave the parks. Go to a club down in Orlando. Have fun. Harder to do when you have kids. Easier to do on a ship.
Oh, for sure. Because if you're coming to the park, you have to work with please work with a travel agent.
Please work with a travel agent.
Because either you need to do all this research yourself, and it's a lot of research that goes into it to understanding where you should go,
Yep.
what you should do. So unless you're someone who watched all the vlogs and all the documentaries and you know it like the back of your hand, then please work with a travel agent because they're not going to cost you anything. But I will say that they can recommend to you people who can watch your kids. So if you wanted to do something special,
Yeah.
like Victoria and Albert because you're celebrating an anniversary, or maybe you just want like a few hours, unless you have a willing family member who's going to do it, like an older teen. Aaron watched the kids for us for a few hours so we could come into Epcot for a
Yep.
little while, and we were very grateful for that. But that's happened once, other than on the ships. And on the ships, Erin was a point of contact because she was the older sibling, but on the ships we were just like, the kids were like, "I'll go back to the
The kids club stays open late.
Yeah, and they'll go play in the club, and you get some time as a parent to
Yeah.
go. No, and you don't have to go to the clubs. You don't have to go to the bar and drink.
You can
don't
go to
need
some fancy dinners.
for sure.
You
Now
know, splurge a little and have one of those, what are they, like dinners to remember that you'll never forget.
I forgot
do
all
that.
about Remy.
I know. So much so that she basically had to hold me back from doing it again when we got back on the ship. But
Yeah, it's expensive.
it's a one-off. It's
not a one-off. You're celebrating.
You're celebrating.
This is
But
the thing.
it's the maitre d' will actually gate the kids club for you,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's an actual goodness to gracious emergency. The maitre d' will handle it so that you can enjoy 3
Yeah.
hours of. Don't stress it. You can
Oh,
just
for real.
relax.
And Remy is 3 hours.
Remy is 3 hours, and worth every second of it.
It doesn't feel like 3 hours.
No.
It feels like an hour and a half.
But if you're a foodie, or if you just want to be pampered in a special way and have an amazing experience that you're probably going to find hard to get anywhere else, or things like that, yeah, it's a massive. But again, you're not
So
getting that coming
good.
to property. You could go to a Victoria and Albert's,
They do share a chef.
but how do you watch your kids if you have kids? If you're somebody that doesn't have kids,
Yeah.
you're lucky you. Have fun. Do the things.
He's just kidding, I swear.
Lucky you. Do the things. Seriously though, it makes it a lot easier. If you
Yeah.
have kids, it's a hell of a lot harder, and this shows that difference.
Yeah.
And is definitely something you don't get anywhere else. Probably the final point to a Disney cruise that I want to bring up, for me, from my perspective, and the reason why I think it's a lot better. You've paid for the food already. You've paid for a lot of the experience already. Everything's done. So you
Yeah.
go, okay, I'm gonna have two drinks a day. One by the pool at 3, and the other one with dinner. Cool.
Yeah.
You're gonna spend $30 a day. Nice, roughly, right? You say, if you don't do that, but I want to have a coffee in the morning and my specialty latte
Yeah.
in the morning, and then I want to go and do something special in the afternoon, like a smoothie or something.
And get a
You know
coffee
the
card.
cost. Get a coffee card. Get a beer card if you like beer. That's an amazing thing to have because
You
you can
invest
just.
in it and you get more pours
Yeah.
or for the beer. And if it's a coffee card, it's like every 6th one you get a free.
Yep.
So
With the beer card, you can even get beers from other places brought to your table. Coming to a park, it is so easy to overrun costs. It is so insanely easy to just go, well, we need to eat. Let's just stop at a quick serve. Cool. $15 a person,
or
minimum.
20, depending.
Minimum, right? 4 people, $60 guaranteed before you worry about tax tip, anything.
Pardon me, that $15 does not include your beverage.
Water. Oh, look, it's hot out because it's Florida. Water, $6
It's a
a
lot.
pop.
Yeah.
So now your 15 became 21. Now your 60 became 80, like that. It's so fast. You can spend the money so fast.
Yeah.
You come home and you're like, I budgeted $4,000 for this trip over what I spent on the trip, and I spent 8.
Yeah.
You don't really do that as easily.
Well-
You can, but you don't really do it as easily on the ship.
On the Disney cruise, your food is all included, with the exception of Paolo and Remy. Those are separate charges, but like you don't need those. The standard rotational dining is really good, and you never have to think about what you're doing or what you like. You just show up and sit down, and they got your spot.
There are crab legs on the lunchtime buffet.
I know,
Like,
and shrimp
like,
and
it's not like it's bad buffet. There's crab
No,
legs.
like
There's
it's banging.
There's sushi. There's, if you like that stuff. If you don't, there's burgers.
There's steak.
There's all kinds of stuff on that buffet. The morning buffet, you can go and have an omelet, and you can go do. They've got all kinds of food.
Yeah, they have our omelet bars. They have all the breakfast things. Of course, Mickey waffles. Shoot, on your last day at sea, they have churro Mickey waffles. So
Right.
like the little Mickey waffles, and they're covered with cinnamon and sugar. Anyway, the
ridiculous.
point is that there's already really great food. So it's not like you need to spend for specialty, but if you want to enjoy something special like the Paolo brunch, which is really good, and then Remy is definitely really great for really celebrating occasions, but your food is already factored in. And so if you think about it when you're in a park and just keep it as per person. So you're spending $20 a person
On a
per
quick serve.
per quick service, and that's if you're bringing a water bottle or you're buying a water bottle and refilling it, because otherwise you're going to need water more than that. Now, if you're going to
Probably 2 quick services a day.
you might have 2 quick services a day if you're going to spend the whole day in the park, but you also might have a sit down. So even if you're like really frugal and you bring snacks and you eat off peak times, which is something I recommend doing, eating like at 11 o'clock and having a big meal then, and then eating like at 5 o'clock and having a big meal, then you can get like a snack, like a dessert or some kind of snack throughout the day. But it's like if you do that and it's 2 quick services, you're talking $40 to $50 a person per day in food.
Minimum.
But
Yeah, that's your minimum.
But that's a minimum, and that doesn't include your snack. Now, if you're doing a quick service plus you're doing a sit down, like now you're looking at that $60 a person. Now, and we're not factoring in tip for that either.
Right.
But also something to keep in mind is these parks, like because there's so many people, again, the crowds, you have to you're sitting there monitoring, like he mentioned, the wait times. You're trying to figure out what you're doing next and what you're going to explore and what's going to entertain you. And if you are trying to figure out what that is and you're trying to find like what has the lowest wait time and you're like, oh, that's only 30, 35 minutes. Sure, but if something is only 30 or 35 minutes or something like that, and all of your attractions are that, and you go on 5 attractions in a day, you're talking about
150 minutes.
That's 2.5 hours that you've spent
Right there,
just waiting
standing
in
in
line.
line.
So this is why a lot of people will purchase one of the lightning lane options. Even if you take it's the $20 a person per day, you have 4 or 5 days you're here. You're talking about $100 to $120 in a trip per person. If you have 4 people, that adds up real fast. All of these costs build up. You have your hotel, you have any Ubers or Lyfts to and from, you have the tickets to the parks, you have your dining, you have any merch, all that Disney merch that we love. Like it adds up. I've talked to so many people who are like, we don't want to do a Disney cruise because it's so expensive. And I'm like, do you remember how much we spent on our first one? And we had discounts involved. We still spent $9,000.
Yeah.
Now it was a split stay between this place and another destination, but still the point is that it was a $9,000 vacation for 5 days.
Yeah, with discounts.
So, and that was with some hefty discounts. Now,
we spent less than that on a 7-day with discounts.
we
on the
did.
ship.
Yeah.
And
now,
that's with all the spending extra.
the
We had a hell
concierge
of a
cruise
discount.
was not the same. That's
We'll be
its
talking
own
about
ball of
that soon.
wax.
Let's watch for the next video that's about that one
We are.
because that's a whole different animal and has its own value to it.
Talk about like Mecca relaxation.
Oh, we will really
Because they
explain
do
that
everything
one.
for you. But we'll go into details, so definitely stay tuned. And again,
Yep.
please consider subscribing so that you won't miss that. Make sure you turn on notifications because that way you'll have that video
Yep.
up that really compares. Like we're already talking cost about a cruise versus a park and how they're super comparable. It's just that you have to think less on a Disney cruise. When it comes to concierge, let's just amplify that
nother world.
substantially, and we will compare truly what it's like for standard versus concierge. And embarkation day is going to be a very key point in that video.
Yes.
So definitely stay tuned and subscribe so you get that. All in all, just say, I love it when people just kind of like come by and they just kind of smile. I'm like, hi, hi, thank you for being a kind person and smiling. Like, it's just, it warms my heart. Like,
I keep
literally.
smiling at random people off the screen. It's you. I smile at you. Really. That's me smiling at you.
I was
also
like
people
saying
walking
hi to
by.
like a little kid earlier who was just like hee hee hee, you know. Anyway, all we're trying to say is we love the parks.
Yeah.
We moved here so that I could come into the parks more often and I could do these kinds of videos for you. And it's a passion that I'm in love with it. That said, like if we could just do a crap ton more cruises,
I would do it in a
like
heartbeat.
we would all do it in a heartbeat. And I mean,
I'd give up park passes.
Can I keep mine because
No.
it's part of my job now?
Damn
but
it, yes.
but I mean, like the kids love the parks. They do. They love
do.
they love coming in here. There's things about this that they love. They love going to Universal and they love going even to SeaWorld. But the thing
and
is
that's
is
the
it
point too, though.
But if you ask them which one, and we've done this numerous times, you ask them,
Yeah.
what do you want? Do you want to would you go into a park or would you go on a cruise?
First, instantly. There's not even a blink.
It's insta response.
Yeah, not even a blink.
Cruise.
Instantly.
And but what is the number one thing they say that they love the
Kids
most?
club. And that's again, second, not even a blink.
For real.
Kids clubs. I don't know. I don't really feel comfortable with them being with strangers or them being away from us.
Hold on. I'll just show
Blink
them. I'll just
that.
show them.
Yeah.
Just watch this. Okay. For anyone who is a concerned parent who's unsure about the idea of leaving your kiddos in the kids club and doing other things on the ship, I have a story to tell you. When we got on board the ship and we checked the kids into the kids club, they gave them a couple of their bands, got them registered to the kids' accounts, and then we went about our business and we got a charger and we charged their bands. Now, we do have to take the theme park Disney Plus bands to guest services to have them set up for their account so they work both on the ship and in the Disney theme parks. Well, in doing that activation, it triggered an alarm to the kids club that our kids had left the kids club without being checked out. Like it literally set off an alarm. So we got them set up. We immediately came upstairs to get our kids, and we're standing out right outside of checking in with one of the counselors at the kids club, and they were like, "Yes, Luke and Lorelai know we looked. They're in this space," and we were like, "Wait, what is going on? Like, did our kids do something? Do they already? I mean, Disney's amazing and their guest services are amazing, but do they already know that we belong with those kids?" No, it was because they were talking about how the alarm was triggered and that the kids were in fact still in the kids club. So we explained how we had the new bands that we were setting up and everything, and we all talked about it, and this is what we learned. So if you've been concerned at all about leaving your kids in the kids club, now you know, because when you walk up to check out your kids, you have to have a code word, and when you check them out, they actually say, "Oh, it looks like they're in this space," so they can actually see what spaces your kids are in when they're in the kids club, which is how they know how to quickly find them and bring them to you when you check them out. But it was just wild. So I I knew that it had an alarm. I guess I didn't realize or think about the fact that if the magic band wasn't on them, that it would trigger like that. That's just like, that's mind-blowing. That's so cool. So for any of you nervous parents, they are literally low-jacked in those kids clubs. Isn't that crazy though?
Isn't that nuts? Like they're that like
We
it's
stood there.
that protective.
Yeah.
Nope, they're gone. Bye. See ya. They don't
Yeah.
want to be around you. And you're like, wow, I brought you on the strip and you didn't want to hang out with me. No, they don't. They want to go do crafts. They want to go play on games. They want to play with
They have
friends.
dance
They have
parties, they do
dance parties. They do,
experiments.
all
And of course, all
kinds
those characters
of
you
stuff.
mentioned.
And yeah, we meet C-3PO. Now I want to go to the kids club.
I know. Right? Well, we have. They do have open
They have an open
houses. So on Embarkation Day, one of the numerous things that you can do is go check out the kids clubs, and there's different kids clubs for different kiddos. And I'm going to do a whole Disney Cruise breakdown that's like a 411 that gives you all the information. So definitely, again, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
You go in and you can see these spaces, and it's like there's intricately themed Star Wars spaces with
Yeah, there is.
flight simulators. I'm
Yeah,
like,
literal
"Hi,
flight simulators.
Can I do
you
that,
sit
please?"
in a
I
flight
want-
chair
I wanna
with
do that.
all the different controls,
Right?
and you're flying one of the ships.
It's so cool, and they have different spaces for different ages and for different kinds of
Yeah.
activities. It's absolutely awesome, and so it's no surprise that the kids would love it so much. But I will tell you that even someone who dreamed about doing this for 25 years and kept saying, "No, the kids are going to have a blast. They're going to love Kids Club," there was still a part of me that was like, "Okay, but what is that actually
Right.
going to look like?" But it's no joke. First thing in the morning, when are we going to Kids Club? And I'm like, we have to feed you
Yeah,
first.
haven't even had breakfast yet. They roll out of bed, we're sipping coffee, and it's
On the veranda, which is our favorite
you don't
thing.
always get that. You might get an inside stateroom,
And that's true.
but you can still sip coffee because you can still have it delivered to your room.
He's right. The kids were like, we're still trying to
Instant.
wake up, and they're like, "Hi,
roll
Kids
out of
Club."
bed, and they're like, let's
It's
go.
insane. And they will stay there as long as like they won't even let you know they're hungry. We're like, hi, you
Guys,
have
you
to
gotta
leave
come
now.
eat.
You have to eat. That said, we do normally order in like the continental breakfast so they have something to eat, and then we gave them a hefty brunch so they could stay in there a long time before we had to pull them out. There's obviously a lot of reasons why taking a Disney cruise is so much more relaxing. And from the planner standpoint, the person who is the park nerd standpoint, the person who was telling him I didn't want to bring a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old into the parks, I was like, no, if we
With
really
more
want to do,
experience, I don't blame her.
no, it's just to each their own. Some people love seeing their toddlers and their faces interact, and I can tell you, I watch a lot of that now myself, and it's adorable. It's so sweet to watch, and they're so good with the kids. It really is, like, as corny as it sounds, it is. It's so magical, and it's so wonderful, but that's a core memory for the parents, and if that's what you want, go do it. We have kids that are very spaced
You have
out.
better chances of meeting those same characters on the ship.
But that's the thing, and you can meet them more often. You usually have a little bit longer of an interaction with them, and you have so many more opportunities. You can see them all throughout the day, every day.
And you can leave your 2-year-old with the crew and go and have something nice.
You do have to pay for the nursery. If they're under 3 years of age, you have to pay for a nursery, which is different. But once they're potty trained and above 3, they can go in the kids club and we're good to go. But yes, I mean, you have all those characters, but like I told him, I said, I don't want everyone else's experience to be pulled back because our youngest is 4 when at the time we had 4, 7, and 15.
Right.
So it was a choice, but it was like Lorelai's first thing. Her first experience with Disney is walking into this ship, not knowing what it was exactly, because 4, looking up and seeing Minnie, who at the time was her favorite, probably still one of her favorite Disney characters ever, greeting her and waving her on the ship.
That's a moment.
Yeah, and it really, really is. Of course, there's also this moment too. This was my core memory from that ship.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Did you see his face though? So freaking savvy. He loves me. But we did. We had the best time, and we can't rave about it enough. So if you have any questions, drop it down below. Do you have anything final that you want to add in?
No, I think I've pretty much beaten a dead horse here. From somebody who is not a Disney person, not a theme park person. I like them. I'll go to them. I'll ride roller coasters. I'll do all the things. I will do a cruise as often as I can afford to do a cruise because, wow, the difference is there.
Thank you so much for hanging out. If you have any questions, please drop it down. If you have any videos that you would like us to make about Disney cruises or about the parks, whether it be here or any other site, please drop that down below. Otherwise, know that we appreciate you being here. It means the world. And we just sincerely hope that we're giving you value. I hope that I'm giving you information that is super helpful. And if you have any questions, please let us know. And just, thank you for being here. And do you have anything?
Cheers.
That you need more beer? Wait,
I need more beers.
Here,
No, I don't want that sweet stuff.
It's not sweet.
She
it's
mixes
a cider
it with
beer mix.
cider.
It's a snake bite with a red beer.
That's better than a snake bite.
We're gonna go squabble off of here, get him another beer, and actually we're gonna record the next video. So again, make sure that you stay tuned. But until then, friends, live your version of a brilliant, bold, beautifully empowered life, and we'll see you at sea. Cheers.